a place called Connecticut. Get with the program. And this is an interesting cap. The Strategic Air Command, worn by the one and only Phillip Van Duzen. Good morning, Phillip.
Good morning.
What would you like to tell us about this cap today?
Well, first of all, I want to tell you about myself first.
Great.
When I got out of the service, I was a staff sergeant in the Air Force. And when I got out of the service, I left my base in Plattsburgh, New York. That base is now not open anymore. It closed down. And prior to that base in Plattsburgh, when I joined the service in 1953 in January, I was assigned to go to aircraft mechanics school down in Amarillo, Texas. And after serving down there for 6 months, they started a new bomber school because they were bringing in the first B-47 six-engine jet bomber of Boeing aircraft to the bases around the United States. And when I graduated from school in Amarillo, Texas, I graduated in the 10% so I can pick any base I wanted to attend.
Great.
So I decided to go to Lockbourne Air Force Base in Columbus, Ohio. That's where I stationed for 2 years. And from that base, I went overseas to England and Africa, French Morocco, Sidi Slimane, and the general that was in charge of our Air Force at the time was General Curtis LeMay.
I've heard of him.
I met him one time. He came out to visit me one time when I was stationed temporarily down in Pine Castle Air Force Base in Florida. And he came out to visit me because my plane, a couple of days before that, had a mid-air collision with another plane.
Oh my God.
Thank God we survived. But the other plane came in okay too, and it took on my number 6 engine right off my plane.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. And then I was stationed in Plattsburgh.
So, were you flying that plane yourself?
I was in the plane.
You were in the plane.
I was in that plane. The B-47 can house 4 people: the pilot, the co-pilot, navigator, and the crew chief.
So the pilot saved your life in that plane.
Yes, he did.
He knew what he was doing.
Thank God. Yep. And then, but I wanted to tell you about when I got up to Plattsburgh, because when I was in Ohio at Lockbourne, I was in the recon wing. The recon wing would photograph all places around Russia, make sure where it was safe. When I got stationed at Plattsburgh, I was stationed to the 529th 380th Bomb Wing, and when I met this young lady today, I told her that during 1956 and 57, okay, we had an A-bomb in our plane 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day.
Can you explain to me what an A-bomb is?
An atomic bomb.
Oh, wow. You know, I know there's all kinds of codes for all kinds of bombs and firing, you know, so the A just stands for that, okay. You know.
I'm not sure what else I can tell you about it, but
atomic bomb?
One bomb.
One atomic bomb.
The bomb was
But what could that atomic bomb take on? Like, what would happen if you dropped it?
What did it do down in Japan when we dropped the A-bomb over there?
Yeah, that's basically what it would do.
Yes.
Wow. And you were carrying that 24 hours a day?
There was a B-47, 24 hours a day with a bomb in it
Oh my God.
to protect our nation.
Wow. Isn't that something? What else would you like to say to some of the... So you served for how long, sir?
I served 4 years active and 4 years inactive. On 4 years inactive, I was in charge of recruiting airmen at White Plains, New York. So I worked there once a month for 4 years, recruiting people to be in the Air Force.
Very good. What's the message for today you'd like to say to these?
Well, I think it's very important if anybody wants to join the service, to join the Air Force, okay? Because they take very good care of you, and they make sure you're okay all the time.
Well, I'm sure all the armed forces, they do a great job.
I'm sure of that.
No matter where you're going to join, but you know about this Air Force and you feel confident with them and you feel secure about them and you know firsthand that they take good care of you.
That's true.
That's great. What else about the Air Force that stood out for you?
Well, my crew, my pilot, navigator, and co-pilot went on a special mission to England, and we took off on May 8th, 1954 at a Fairford Airdrome north of London, and three planes took off and went up over Finland, and the two planes turned around and went back to the base, and my plane kept flying on, and we went into Russia and photographed many air bases, like 6 or 8 air bases, for us to monitor to make sure we were safe. And Captain in charge of the plane,
Oh my
Al
God,
Austin.
LadyRanger's here.
Al Austin was the pilot of the airplane, and the big shot hit him and hit us twice. And we couldn't tell any stories about that for 50 years.
Oh,
So finally we were able to tell the story about us, a pilot and the crew surviving. And that was a very important time in my life.
wow. Well, what a cap could lead to. Seeing your cap has left me with this interview, which is a very important interview, and you got to say a little bit of, what you'd like to tell the public, and it's very nice of you to talk about it, and it's nice meeting you.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you too.
Yes. I'm LadyRanger.
I'm Phil Van Dusen. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
You have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And thanks for being on the show. Get with the program
Yep, thank you.
in a place called Connecticut.